Well, hello there everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today. And it's another Mock Draft Monday for you guys as well. If you are new around here, we do a mock draft every single Monday up until the NFL draft. And then, of course, we talk about the needs as the Cowboys add and remove pieces from this team to really get an idea of what they should do in the NFL draft. Sounds pretty self-explanatory. We're getting ever so close to the start of free agency as March is right around the corner. In fact, the next mock draft we do will be in the month of March. The Cowboys have not done anything to open up cap space. They've not re-signed anybody, extended anybody, restructured, nothing. So we are still under the assumption that the needs we talked about in the last mock draft that we did are the same. If you missed that, by all means, click the card at the top right of the screen and you'll be able to catch up on the mock draft we did over there. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into who the Cowboys should take in this one-round mock draft at pick 24, and then we'll go forward from there.
And here comes the pick.
With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
Amarius Mims, offensive tackle, Georgia. Now, wherever you go with Cowboy circles, whether that be YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, wherever, the discussion for a successor at the left tackle position for Tyron Smith has most certainly come up. We did think that after drafting Tyler Smith, you did have a successor at the left tackle position with him. You know, you had Tyron Smith have a very devastating injury early on in the year. He comes back from this extremely devastating injury to play right tackle because Terrence Steele goes down with an ACL injury. But you then saw at the tail end of the 2022 season, which led to the foundation of how they handled the offensive line in 2023, you put Tyler Smith at left guard, Tyron Smith back at left tackle, and that left side is what it is moving forward until Tyron is done here in Dallas. Now, it did pay dividends off for Tyler Smith because he went from being a good offensive tackle, left tackle at that, to a great left guard. In fact, we had conversations about that when we drafted Tyler Smith, that I felt that he would be a better guard at this level, and left guard most likely would be the best position that he would play for the Cowboys moving forward. And the reason I'm bringing up all of this information for a dialogue about taking an offensive tackle at pick 24 in this year's draft is that if you remember what the original plan was for Tyler Smith, it wasn't to have him play left guard at the end of the day. It was to have him sit behind Tyron Smith, learn, develop, and then figure out what to do with him moving forward. I think it was going to be an eventuality he was going to play the left guard position. But now that that's set, you're going to be taking a tackle that is either going to do one of two things. Number one, he's going to sit behind Tyron Smith, develop, and then eventually become the starter at left tackle moving forward once he's done playing for the Dallas Cowboys, that is Tyron Smith. Or number two, he's going to play right tackle because Terrence Steele is not progressing as well as he should with recovering from the ACL injury. And look, at the end of the day, if you agree or disagree with me, you can go down into the comments section and provide your input. That's why the comment section's down there. If you feel like maybe I'm looking at it from a wrong angle, and if you provide your opinion, it opens up a door for me to be like, hey, maybe I didn't look at it that way. Or maybe you agree with me and you agree for a different reason. All of that's part of the conversation, so I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. But after going through all of that, let's talk about Amarius Mims, the prospect, and what I like about him. Now, this guy is a big dude. Amarius Mims is 6'7", 340 pounds. Like, this is someone that was built in a lab type of measurables, which is fantastic for the offensive tackle position. As we know, we've talked about how Tyron Smith, he was built in a lab, basically, and how much of a giant he is. So now, while Mims checks off all of the boxes when it comes to the frame and the measurables of what you would want in an offensive tackle, what else does he do at the offensive tackle position that you would want in a guy here in Dallas? Well, to start things off, he has starting experience at left tackle and right tackle. And while that doesn't seem like much for a guy as young as he is, it shows you that he's flexible. So if something happens to Terrence Steele and you need a guy that could play right tackle, where he primarily played, you got something there. But more importantly, you have a succession plan in place at left tackle, and your left side is going to be set for at minimum 5-10 years. I think that he would be a staple on that left side as long as he develops properly, and I think that he should be able to here in Dallas, especially with, who you have in the building. So that's number one. Number two, while he has a big frame, his ability to utilize it to his advantage is damn good. So what does that mean? Well, to start things off, this guy's going to dominate in pass protection. The ability to utilize his athleticism, strength, and wingspan to maintain leverage the way he can is something that a lot of NFL teams are going to like about him. Also, just his reaction time is very quick. Just seeing at how he approaches things at the second level, I think that a lot of his game is going to translate to the NFL level. On top of that, just how big he is and how he gets into his stance as quick as he is, it's pretty impressive. I think that that's also a thing to keep in mind as you're looking at a guy like him. Now, while he checks off all of that in terms of just, okay, he has the frame, he does have that natural instinct of being a tackle and all that other stuff that I just mentioned, what are some things that I might not be a fan of or things that I've noticed where I would worry? So to start things off, one of the things that I noticed first was his footwork can be inconsistent. I'm also going to lump in his hand placement as well when it comes to technique and not just overall strength and athleticism. That's something he's going to need to work on. And a lot of the times when it comes to technique, I'm not super worried about that because it comes down to where you go in the NFL and where you're drafted to. But if you don't fix that or make it so that it's not as big of a problem, it's going to plague you throughout the rest of your career. So that's something that needs to be worked on. And he is young, so we'll have plenty of time to get that worked on. If it was an older prospect, like where you're 23 through 25, and you're still having these problems, I'm going to be a bit more apprehensive to taking you. But that's one thing that I see there. Now, I will mention that, hey, while I did highlight that he started on both left and right sides of the offensive line, he does have a small sample size. He only has 8 career starts, and he has missed some time in 2023 due to an ankle injury. And so this has not just been a one-time thing. He has had an injury thing, and I don't know, because sometimes with injuries, I'm very like, oh, hurt guys are stay hurt. But other times it's like these dudes have injuries in college, but then when they get to the NFL, nothing happens. So it's very much so, part of the process of I'm just trying to nitpick as much as possible. But that's pretty much it for Amarius Mims, guys. I think that he would be a solid prospect at 24. I wouldn't be shocked if he went before the Cowboys could even have a chance to select him. But he's definitely an intriguing prospect given with, as I'm going through these mock drafts, there's always some mix of offensive tackles that go before the Cowboys pick. And so tell me what you guys think. Should the Cowboys look at taking an offensive tackle? I know a couple of you guys in the comment section have brought that to light that, yeah, they should do that. They shouldn't look to take any, guy on the defensive side of the ball or more so, guys that you don't need to worry about. So tell me down below what you think. Would you like Amarius Mims on the Cowboys? Do you think it's a reach? Do you think that there's other issues maybe I haven't looked at yet? By all means, tell me down below, and I'll catch you guys later, and we'll see how things go for the Dallas Cowboys, all right? Have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.